Yes, you. You who's been with me since the beginning, you who's new and just starting, and you who just stumbled into this video. You. Welcome to the team. Our team is a group of learners, teachers, speakers, and listeners. A team of misunderstood misfits who no longer fear mistakes. For we know that though they may break us, they do not make us. We choose to learn even when we lose. We are a group of stories and hard-earned testimonies. And this year, team, I dare you. I dare you to dream. Dare to dream big. Dream dreams that scare you. Dreams so impossible, unreachable, that they take your breath away. Dare to step outside your comfort zone. Go for something. Go get somewhere. Go be someone. Dare to dream today. Not someday or soon or someday soon. Don't wait for someone's permission, the right motivation, or perfect conditions. Those may never ever come. Time is running out, my friend. You better start running too. Dare to dream for you. Dare to dream for others. Dare to dream for others like you. For if a shy, stuttering introvert like me can find the courage to speak to thousands of people like you, I am living proof that dreams can, will, and do come true. Dare to dream. Take that first step. For if the universe can start from nothing, and everything else must start from something, let that one thing be this. Here, now, with you. Love, Lyqa.
Hello? Mic test? Mic test? Hello? Hello? Okay, wait lang. Meron na? Okay, great. Ayan. So, yeah, we're just talking about getting hired. So, this is part 2 ng ating mini webinar series dito sa Kumu, sa Scene Zone channel. And yeah, we're going to talk about yung job interview tips sa session na to. So if any of you are thinking of maybe switching careers or yung mga senior high na pag-graduate na, college students na pag-graduate na, or if gusto niya lang talaga maghanda for future job application um, and job opportunities, this is going to be for you. Last time we talked about resume writing, and yes, we do have yung mga videos na rin on YouTube about that. May ibang mga tips lang ako na hindi na-mention doon, and of course, I get to respond to your questions kasi live tayo ngayon. So if meron din kayong mga questions later, yan, aabangan ko yan. Yun yung gagawin natin today. Pero again, it's all about the second step na tayo. Nasa job interview na tayo mismo. Okay, so again, good morning sa lahat ng nanonood from all over the Philippines and all over the world na din. Um, Hello, welcome. And one of the greatest joys ko ngayong pandemic is that even if again marami and we understand and acknowledge that no ang daming mga nawalan ng trabaho, ang daming mga na-lay off, ang daming naging part-timers na lamang, marami tayong mga Team Lyca members na nakakuha ng trabaho, not just here, but also in other countries. So, yun, may mga nakasampa ng barko, yung mga nakapunta sa ibang mga opportunities, or even mga na-promote. Kaya, nagpapasalamat ako at I get to be part of that. Erica is from Bataan. Hello sa mga nasa Bataan right now. Ayan. Pag itong Batian section natin, medyo it gets me excited pa rin every time na seeing from kung saan-saan kayo sa Pilipinas. So, good morning sa inyong lahat. And, um, yeah, it makes me happy kasi I don't get to travel anymore to teach. Ayan, present din sila Ate Ray tsaka si Mapi sa Kumu. So, hi sa inyong lahat. And sa lahat na nagpapadala ng gifts, Lovida, salamat. Um, ayan. So, it's an entire process. But again, all of my tips, hi Janice, good morning. Good morning. Yung mga tips ko sa inyo will be from my perspective as someone na nag-job interview dati, someone na nag-interview din ng iba dati. And lalagyan lang natin ng kaunting mga disclaimers. Una sa lahat, iba yan talaga per industry. Iba-iba rin per hiring manager. So, sasabihin ko sa inyo yung mga blanket tips ko na hopefully makakatulong sa marami. Pero syempre may mga exceptions sa rule kasi baka mamaya may magsasabi, "Eh, yung sa'kin ganito, ganyan." Nangyayari po talaga yon, okay? So, depende rin sa preference talaga. The goal here is for us to maximize yung odds for us to get hired. Okay? So, increase yung odds na kayo ang mapipili. Abigail from Aklan. So, hi sa lahat ng mga nasa Aklan. Ayan. I wish I could say more Aklanon than Bugak at saka ng Tao Kimu, pero yun lang alam ko. So, magpa-practice pa tayo. Hello from Calapan, Nina from Pampanga. Yan. So, magandang umaga sa mga nasa Pampanga din. Joshua is from Leyte. Amy Dane is from California. So, hello. Good, ano ba ngayon dyan? Afternoon, evening, good evening sa inyo. Queen Cedric from Capiz. Yan. Capiz, one of the most, diba, beautiful places din in the Philippines. Kailangan lang ng konti pang push kasi pag sinasabing tourism, hindi masyadong naisip yung Capiz, but actually Capiz is really beautiful. So, yan. Hi sa inyong lahat. Okay, Emilu from Butuan City. Ayan, hindi pa ako nakapagturo sa Butuan pero hopefully someday soon after this pandemic. Yan, sana palapit tayo na palapit dun sa natin, sa pagkakataon natin magkita-kita. Bing from Surigao. Yan, we have a lot of Team Laika members din sa Surigao. So, good morning sa inyo lahat. Yan, from Cavite, si Kiana, sakto may practical exam na magkakaroon kami ng interview through video call. Great. Actually, Kiana, whoever your teacher is or yung program that you're part of, that's a really great thing to have. Not every school does that, yung merong practical na exam, yung job interview process. I'm happy na na-integrate na siya. So yeah, use that as an opportunity for you to learn more. Lavida from Kumu, user 9138015 from Quezon City. Tanems is from Camarines Sur. So hi sa mga nasa Cam Sur dyan. Okay. Hello from Pampanga, Patricia. Hi. No ka rin, King Pampanga. Mga konting baon kong Kapampangan na babato natin. Desiree from Cebu, Resi from Mandaluyong. Ayan. Kamusta na mga tigamanda? Rian from Iloilo. So, hi sa mga nasa Iloilo. Yan, si Patricia nasa Mabalacat daw. Okay. Mainit dyan. Alam niyo ito yung mainit sa Quezon City, mainit sa Metro Manila, naisip ko sa Pampanga. Kasi pag mainit, summer sa Pampanga, mainit, pag mainit, mainit talaga. As in, makikita ninyo yung buhangin na umaangat dun sa lupa. O yan, opo, mapali po ni. Oo, mapali dun, mainit sa Malinsangan. Okay, so Rodel from Palawan. Ayan. Guapo, creative, Guapol. 0129. Hello, Coach Laika. Sana po makapag-guest speaker ka po minsan sa PUP. Oo naman. As much as possible, we try to say yes to those invites. And I've spoken to a number of events na rin sa PUP. So, yan. Tingnan natin kung pwede. Again, if you have any invitations or anything like that or business collaborations, anything, go and please send a message to Zandy at teamlyca.com, and Zandy will take care of you. We'll see if we can make it work. And last year din, I mean, nakakaano kasi when I was in high school, dalawa lang ang options ko for college. Iniisip kasi hindi mo kami mayaman, no? So, inisip naming twins, it's either UP or PUP. Tapos we did pass sa POPSET, na doon sana namin gustong pumasok para magkasama pa rin kaming kambal. So, ang options was either I'm going to go to UP for public ad or PUP for accountancy, tapos magkasama kami. Yeah, but it didn't work out that way. Pero okay na rin na hindi. At least nakita-kita tayo ngayon. Patricia, magaling naman, marunong kang magkapampangan. Hindi tak. Okay, paunti-unti. Marunong ako mintindi ng Kapampangan, pero to speak, medyo ano ako, nahihiya ako kasi pinagtatawanan ako ng mga pinsan ko tsaka kahit ng kapatid ko kapag nagkakapampangan ako, may accent daw. So, Mary Rose Ricafort from San Andres Bukid, Manila. Hello sa mga Manilenyo dyan. Kamusta na kayo dyan? Ayan, mainit din sa Manila. So, well, mainit naman sa buong Pilipinas these days. Pero, yeah, sending my love to all of you na naiinitan. Ayan. At sa lahat din na nahihirapan lalo kapag umuulan. So, ngayong mga panahon ngayon, medyo alanganin yung weather natin, di ba? Either sobrang init or umuulan. So, hopefully, things will work out really soon. Mary from, saan galing si Mary? Hindi ko nabasa. But hi, Mary, good morning. Pangasinan, okay. So, hi sa mga nasa Pangasinan. Alhan Amano from KSA. So, hi, good morning sa inyo, Alhan. Michelle Moreno, happy birthday. Oh, birthday niya daw. So, hi, Michelle. Happy birthday sa'yo. Ayan. Good morning at happy birthday. Sana you have a great birthday. Kahit pandemic birthday na naman ngayon, pero kaya mo yan. Hello from Cebu, Vanessa. Hindi, yan. Hi sa mga tiga Cebu. Namimiss ko na yung food sa Cebu sa totoo lang. Lyqa Rose from Binangonan, Rizal. Ayan. Yung mga kapwa Rizalenya ni Madam Zandy. Okay. Rizal, mabuhay. Ayan. Kami kasi inaral lang namin yung anthem namin nung pag-graduate na kami. Apparently sa Rizal hindi ganon. Marlon Guillermo from BGC Taguig. So hi sa mga nasa BGC Taguig. Ayan. Kung I keep thinking kung walang pandemic, ano na sana, season na kasi ngayon ng YouTube events. So probably nandun sana tayo ngayon. Pero yeah, dito muna tayo. Davao del Sur, Rosel Labajo. Hi, hello po sa mga tiga Davao. Ayan, Michelle Canaveral. Hello po, Miss Laika. Sakto po ang live yung may initial interview ako mamaya. Oh, yeah. Alright, great. Sige, let's jump right into it para mas marami tayong makover na ground. And kaya mo yan sa initial interview. Last night, we've had a number of messages from people saying na, okay, they passed the initial interview, they passed the final interview, magsa-start na sila, yung iba, first day na nila. So, yung mga ganong classy messages, I get really happy. Amira from DSWD NCR. Oh! Hi sa mga tiga DSWD NCR. So if any of you are also watching or listening to this, good hello sa inyo lahat. Good morning. I miss you too. Ayan, hindi na ako nakabalik dyan since kung kailan ako huling nagturo. One of my favorite places to teach dun sa mga offices na napuntahan ko na for civil service review is DSWD NCR. Pinaka-sweet sila, isa sa mga pinaka-sweet na naturuan ko. Lagi pang natatapat na tuwing magbe-birthday ako kasi 'di ba March yung season ng civil service exam. Lagi ako nagbe-birthday doon. Banda ron. So lagi naman din akong may pa-cake. So salamat sa mga taga DSWD NCR. Nag-aambagan sila for my cake. So salamat. Ayan, easier Neldor, Filipino quarantine from Korea. Oh, okay lang yan. I hope they clear you. What's up, Bacolod City, Bench and Rosso. Para tayong showtime. Okay, game. Let's go into yung discussion na natin. And may pasang text na lang sa naririnig ninyo. Okay. Game. Watching from Mongolia daw si Erneston Reyes. Mongolia, wow. Yeah, the land of some of the strongest people in the world. Okay, so last week we talked about resume writing. So again, everyone who stayed dun sa last session natin, salamat sa pagsama last time. Yung mga naka-miss out, we will be uploading the live stream sessions, the full live stream sessions dun sa ating third channel, but second educational channel on YouTube sa Learn with Lyqa. So we do have a separate YouTube channel for the for the long and the lengthy na mga discussions, kasama na yung job interview tips natin last week, resume writing. So, hanapin niyo na lang yung Learn with Like a channel. Dadaan na lang natin really quickly. This is important to note. Ito yung reminder natin last time. It's better to be rejected for the right reasons than to be accepted for the wrong ones. So, ang basis natin dito, again, is that when it comes to writing your resume, when it comes to making sure that you do well sa job interview, mas maganda, sa totoo lang, if you get rejected for the right reasons, as in nakita nila, okay, you're not a good fit, or hindi ka pa masyadong ready, or minsan sinasabi overqualified, di ba? Or hindi talaga maganda masyado yung sync ng team, mas maganda ma-reject for those reasons, for the right reasons, kesa yung ma-accept ka for the wrong reasons. Ano ibig sabihin ng wrong reasons? Yung kaya nagsinungaling tayo sa resume natin, 'di ba? Or you faked your way through your job interview tapos hindi ka pala capable. Tapos pagdating mo doon sa trabaho, mas mahihirapan ka, mas mahihirapan sila sa iyo. And of course, hindi magiging pleasant yung iyong stay doon sa company na yon. So again, mas maganda if we present ourselves as truthfully as possible. But of course, we understand na when it comes to job interviews, it's like, again, di ba sinasabi natin, it's like selling yourself. No? Ibig sabihin, ikaw yung produkto, ikaw yung sinusubukan mong kumbinsihin sila to buy you or to take a risk sa'yo. But again, have a balance of kung ano yung talagang totoo lang talaga. Huwag tayong masyadong, di ba yung iba, naglalagay sila ng fake na credentials, ng fake na recommendation. So, huwag tayong ganun kasi magkakabukingan din yan. Okay? So now, again, yung timeline natin, we talked about this. Last time, we focused on the before, doing your research and writing your resume. All of these, again, we talked about last time na. So, dadaanan lang natin really quickly. Talked about the content, kung ano ilalagay sa resume. I challenged you to send your resumes. I will get that prepared soon. Inaayos ko pa lang talaga yung mga legalities niyan. Syempre, ayoko naman na kung magagamitin yung resumes ninyo for content without your consent. So, pipila natin yan next time. I will ask you to send your resumes if you want me and maybe a friend who's an expert then to weigh in on it at kung paano ma-edit yung iyong mga resumes para mas i-improve siya. I will have that in the future na lang. Tapos we talked about customization kasi 'di ba writing your resume is just the first part. Mas importante yung how you customize it. Depende sa kung ano yung role na papasukan ninyo. And ngayon, job interview tips na tayo. Okay? So, ang ano naman natin ngayon, ang reminder natin is this. The goal is to make the other person feel good. Okay? A good interview makes the other person feel good. Okay, now, a lot of people may not see it like that, no? Pero hindi nila maisip na, okay, hindi na yan importante, di ba? Ang importante mairaos mo or ang importante ma-present mo yung sarili mo na ikaw yung the best or ikaw yung pinakamagaling, pinakamahusay. But the truth is, a good interview makes the other person feel good. Ibig sabihin yung nag-i-interview sa'yo has to feel good about you. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman nila hinahanap yung pinakamagaling. Okay? And I've had multiple people on the Get Hired podcast din. Of course, multiple people I've met din in my real life. Pero maraming mga experts din, including I just did an interview with Pat I think it was 2 episodes ago for the Get Hired podcast. We have one up right now, bagong interview din. And it's the same thing, no? Most of yung mga CEOs, hiring managers, mga project leaders, they say the same thing. Hindi nila hinahanap yung pinakamagaling. Ang hinahanap nila would be yung magandang fit. Okay? Yung swak na fit for them, for their company, for their values, for their team. Yung hinahanap nila na makakasundo nila. Okay? So again, you have to make the other person feel good. Just I think the other day, someone sent me a message saying na na-hire na daw siya. And natatandaan niya kasi I said this din in a YouTube video na you have to make the other person feel good. So, ganun daw yung ginawa niya. So, nag-workout naman, na-hire siya. First day niya na daw nung nag-message siya sa akin. So, again, this is, I would say naman, sound advice, no? You will start to feel if the job is for you or if okay kang candidate, if during your conversation, ikaw na yung kinukumbinse ng hiring manager na magtrabaho sa kanila. Okay, so baliktad na, hindi na yung binebenta mo yung sarili mo, binebenta na nila yung company. So sinasabi na nila, uy, maganda yung benefits dito, kung magtsatsaga ka lang, pag regular ka na, ganito. Ako, ito yung kwento ko. So I started like you. Yan. Pag nagsabi na ng ganun yung hiring manager, parang naramdaman mo na, okay, I got this in the bag. So that is the goal. And again, the goal is to make the other person feel good. How do you do that? Okay? How do you do that? Kasi again, they're looking for people they will work with for a long time, lalo na kapag nasa final interview na kayo. Ang usual kasi na process is sa initial interview, hiring manager yan or HR. Okay? Again ha, this is in Filipino companies or companies right here in the Philippines. So meron mo ng initial screening. So titignan resume muna. Kapag medyo viable yung resume mo, kaya nga again, pinag-usapan natin last time, malalagay kayo sa short stack, no? Sinabing short stack, ibig sabihin, ito yung pila ng mga tao na posibleng maging okay. Tapos usually dadaan kayo sa phone interview or ngayon, di ba meron na tayong online interview, Zoom siguro or via MS Teams or Google Meet or whatever. Magkakaroon kayo ng virtual interview. Usually, ano yon, hiring manager. Pero sa dulo ng process, yung tipong shortlist na talaga, as in 5 lang kayo, 'di ba? 5 na lang kayo na pinagpipilian for one position. Ang mag-interview na sa inyo nun, yung mismong boss. Okay? Yung immediate na boss. Yung magiging team leader ninyo, magiging supervisor ninyo, yung senior. Okay? So, ang nangyayari na nun usually, dun, lalo dun sa last stage na yon, ang mas importante, more than your credentials, kasi alam na nila eh, nabasa na nila yung resume ninyo, alam na nila na dumaan na kayo dun sa initial na process ng interview. Pag nakita nila yung resume ninyo, kilala nila kayo, pero pag nag-meet kayo, doon na masa-sense yung chemistry. Okay, eto, teachable ba to? Nakikinig ba to? Proud ba siya o humble? Anong klaseng tao to? Do I want to work with this person? Kasi at the end of the day, you're going to have to work with that person interviewing you. Kaya kung mapapasaya nyo siya, mararamdaman nila na komportable ka kasama, maayos kang magtrabaho, maayos kang magsalita, hindi ka arrogante or anything, syempre mas mapipili ka nila kasi ayun, gusto nila yon for their team. But again, depende na yon. So you have to really be sensitive din sa ibang tao. Okay? So again, thank you for sending the gifts. Si Ate Ray nagpadala. Salamat, Edmalyn. Everyone sending gifts and following us on Kumu din. I'm grateful for that. And those sending stars din sa Facebook, maraming salamat sa inyo. And iniipon-ipon natin yan para dun sa ating mga projects tsaka mga equipment. So, salamat. Ayan, may nag-comment si, sorry, malabo ang mata. Ayan, Ernest, I passed the ops interview because of you. Thank you. I use your words. Everything is learning experience. That line is very powerful. Thank you and congratulations, Ernest. And yes, that line is very, very powerful. So nailulusot naman natin yan. Alexander, math naman po. We have hundreds, literally hundreds of math video lessons on YouTube right now. So you can go and visit yung ating page, yung ating channel, Team Lyqa, tsaka Learn with Lyqa on YouTube. Okay? So today, ano muna tayo, get hired muna tayo, Alexander. And of course, we also have TikTok videos. So if you want more math, you can go check that out. Yeah. Last night, actually, may bago tayong math video lesson. Ni-revamp ko yung exponents kasi 4 years ago pa pala yung una at hindi ko pa siya masyadong na-discuss. So if you want that, it's on YouTube right now. Okay? So again, the goal is to make the other person feel good. Now, let's go to the timeline. Di ba last time we talked about the before? So doing your research and then writing your resume. Ngayon, dito na tayo sa during. So, job interview tips, how to relax, a little bit about body language kung aabot tayo sa time. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Now, again, these are just tips. Okay? Tips, but take them with a grain of salt. The first tip is to be prepared. Okay, now, a lot of people would say wing it, diba? Just come as you are. But all of the things I'm going to share to you will come from the perspective of someone like me who needs to prepare for things. And I will tell you this, I tend to over-prepare pa nga. So, ibig sabihin, I will find out everything I possibly could about the position, about the company. Kung naka-public yung hiring manager, titanong ko kung may LinkedIn sila, ano yung mga values nila, ano yung interests nila. Just so we have a little bit of thing to stand on kapag nag-usap. Now, why do I do that? You know, one of the things I'm grateful dahil introvert ako at grateful na rin ako kahit papaano na I am socially anxious is that. Kasi I know na I need to do extra work for me to do well pagdating sa mga itong klaseng sitwasyon. And these things really paid off para sa akin. Kasi if you're prepared, if you're ready sa kung ano man ibabato sa inyo, hindi kayo magugulat. Okay. Na ano yung preparation na yan? One of the things that we have to talk about are possible red flags. Now, nakalagay dyan possible ha, kasi baka mamaya may mga ma-offend sa comment section. Nililinaw ko po ha, possible lang. Hindi ito totoo para sa lahat. In fact, a lot of the modern hiring managers, including your millennial HR manager, you find her on TikTok, already spoke about this. Hindi na lahat ganito. But in a lot of more traditional companies, lalo na sa sabihin natin government agencies, may mga cases pa rin na yung hiring managers, pag nakakita ng ganito, medyo off na sila or itatanong nila sa inyo yan. So ang una natin kailangan pag-usapan is sino kayo. So you have to take stock of who you are. Okay? Ano yung mga meron ako na pwedeng itanong sa akin? Kasi kung hindi ka prepared to answer these questions, pagdating mo dun sa mismong interview, 'di ba, magbo-buckle ka. Actually, hindi ka pa nakakarating sa interview eh. Papunta ka pa lang sa interview, kinakabahan ka na kasi baka itanong sa iyo 'to. Pero kung ready ka with a question, with an answer to this question or ready ka to explain kung bakit may mga possible red flags ka sa iyong resume, medyo mas prepared ka, mas magiging kalmado ka na ano yung mga possible red flags that you could have. Again, red flags lang po ito ha. Hindi ko sinasabi hindi kayo magkakatrabaho pag ganito. Kasi ako, meron din akong ding eh. But we have to be prepared nga again. How do we explain this? Now, the first one would be to have a degree unrelated to the position. So, kung kunwari, yung trabaho is, simulan natin in IT, di ba? In programming. Pero ang degree mo is in accountancy or ang degree mo is in communications. 'Di ba? Medyo may disjoint eh. Um, ang hinahanap nila data analyst or data scientist tapos ang course mo psychology, for example, kunwari lang. So anong anong gagawin natin sa cases na ganito? Now, one of the things na lagi ko sinasabi and we are also discussed this sa YouTube, if your degree is unrelated sa position that you're applying for, what you could do would be to make sure that you focus on the skills. Okay? Kasi yung degree mo hindi ka makakalaban masyado eh, sabihin na natin, 'di ba? Kasi iba dun sa ibang mga aplikante. But that could actually make you stand out. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, you devoted a lot of time studying the skills. Nasa skills-based world na tayo ngayon. Sa totoo lang ha. For example, sa amin sa Team Lyqa, I don't care kung ano yung degree nung kung sino man yung na-hire namin, whether as an intern or as part of the team, part-timer or full-timer, hindi kailangan related yung course nila or yung degree nila doon sa position nila. Sa akin, I don't believe na ganun pa siya ka-importante ngayon. More than the degree kasi gusto ko makita if they put in the hours to build up the skills required dun sa trabaho na yon. So balikan natin yung example kanina. Kung ang hinahanap is data scientist, data analyst, tapos ang degree mo is in psychology, ang gagawin mo ngayon would be hahanapan mo ng way to showcase your skills. Kung meron talaga ha, hindi ko ba sinasabi na mag-apply kayo sa kahit anong posisyon dyan, tapos ilusot nyo na lang. Hindi. Kung meron ka talagang skill set na yon. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung meron kang mga certificates, di ba? Ano ka, so natin, nag-enroll ka sa Project Sparta, no? Or nag-enroll ka sa mga short courses online pagdating sa data science. Kung nag-devote ka ng time, kahit mag-isa ka lang sa YouTube na mag-aral ng basic na programming, basic na data, ng languages, di ba? Kung meron kang ganon, you have to showcase those. So, pag alam ko na ngayon na okay, ito yung problema ko, hindi ako magle-lead with my degree kahit sa resume ko. So, babalikan natin na really quickly yon ha. Kung feeling mo yung degree mo hindi related sa position, wag mo unahin yung education dun sa iyong resume. Kasi nga again, we only have usually 7 to 8 seconds to look at your resume. Kung nakalagay sa itaas, education, psychology, malayo, 'di ba? Malayo dun sa posisyon, baka laktawan ka agad. So anong uunahin mo ngayon dun sa resume mo? Unahin mo na yung skills. Okay? Unahin mo na agad yung listahan ng mga skills that could help you do well dun sa position na yon. And pagdating mo sa interview, dun ka magfo-focus. So you can lead with a sentence that's really really going to set the tone. You can tell them that I believe that when it comes to learning things, everything that and you can learn everything over time, And I've devoted, sabihin na natin, and be realistic dito ha, I've devoted 200 hours of my life learning about this. 200, medyo maliit yun. Gawin natin 2,000 hours of my life learning this, learning programming, learning data science, enrolling dito sa mga programs na ito. So again, ibabalik mo yung focus doon. So usually, kasi sa college, kapag merong, yun lang naman ang difference eh, kapag meron kang degree or diploma on paper, ang ibig sabihin no, nag-aral ka ng this amount of hours, nagkaroon ka ng enough na expertise, kinlear ka ng experts na sinabi nila, o karapat dapat ka magkaroon ng degree, or karapat dapat ka magkaroon ng diploma. Kaya nga kino-confer yun, di ba? So kung wala ka nung diploma na yun, wala ka nung papel, ang gagawin mo, babawiin mo dun sa actual na time na dinevote mo on the side. So wala ka mang diploma, marami ka pa ring oras na ginugol doon. Nag-practice ka pa rin ng maigi. So you could say something that I built a website from top to bottom. It's a mobile responsive website. Automatic na yung ganito. I built an app. Okay. That's on the app store right now. So instead of focusing on the degree, tingnan mo na yung epekto. Bakit? Kasi the truth is, maraming may degree na hindi naman din qualified. Now, ano ibig sabihin ko doon? Maraming mga may degree na, na kinuha lang nila yung papel, no? May papel lang pero hindi naman actually ginamit or nalimutan na, 'di ba? Yung classic example 'yun eh. Ang dami nating computer science graduates na walang computer or na hindi gumamit ng computer. Computer programming graduates na hindi nag-build ng program, 'di ba? Lalo na kung hindi natin masyadong kinirir yung college natin, or kung 'di ba may magaling ka lang na groupmate, 'di ba, sa thesis mo or dun sa final project mo, makakalusot minsan eh. So anong gagawin mo? You have to have a showcase dun sa skills mo. Okay? If your degree is unrelated to the position. Take stock of everything na pwede mong i-connect dun sa trabaho, tapos isa-isahin mo yon. Now, another possible red flag is this: switching schools or jobs too fast. Okay? And again ha, hindi sa lahat ng oras. Pero if you switch schools or jobs ng mabilis, 'di ba? Yung kaya 2 buwan ka pa lang nandoon, umalis ka na, or kung sa parang kumbaga hindi ka pa nare-regular, 'di ba? Nag-resign ka na. Bata pa tayo, sinasabi na ng matatanda na ano 'yan, na delikado 'yan, 'di ba? Kaya sinasabi nila usually magtiis ka kahit 6 months lang doon sa trabaho bago ka mag-resign. Now, possible red flags lang yan kasi again, things are changing ngayon. So, naiintindihan na ng mga tao. Again, nasa pandemic tayo eh, di ba? So, marami talagang mga new hire na kumbaga, hindi nakaalpas, no? Kasi naputol yung kanilang job dahil nga nagkaroon tayo ng global pandemic. So, naiintindihan po ng mga hiring manager yan. Kung yun ang dahilan kung bakit kayo mabilis mag-switch ng jobs, that's perfectly fine. But anong gagawin natin? So what you could do when alam ninyo na posibleng itanong yan sa inyo would be to be ready with the reasons why. So why did you switch schools? Kasi your family moved. Kasi yung resources na deplete. And a lot of people think na ako hindi dapat huwag niyo sabihin na ganun. Pero hindi eh. Just be honest about it. 'Di ba? Kung kunwari, sabihin natin yung dad ko po nawalan ng trabaho. 'Di ba? Nawalan ng trabaho yung tatay ko. So, nawalan kami ng pondo. I had to stop for a bit. Nag-ipon muna ako so I can go back to school. Honestly, hindi nga negative yun eh. Positive yun. Kasi ang ibig sabihin nun would be you're someone who is disciplined, who is going to have yung initiative na yun. Kasi maraming mga estudyante, pag ganun, sasabihin, oh, hindi ka na namin kayang paaralin. Okay, tapos na sila. Pero hindi eh, nag-working student ka. So, actually, pabor sa inyo yun. Okay? So, just be honest about it. Now, sa jobs, kung hindi naging maayos yung hinto ng trabaho, no? Kung kunwari may nahuli ka na something illegal na ginagawa ng company, you could just say something like that, no? You could say something like, the company I was with before didn't provide a good environment for me to grow and thrive. Or you could say something like, my values weren't aligned with that of the company. They were doing things that I didn't agree with at the time. So I had to leave. So ang change na yon would be, okay, hindi ito dahil sa pinaalis siya. It's because naintindihan niya yung value niya, yung worth niya, and hindi talaga nag-workout. Okay? So you just need to be ready. Kung ano man yung dahilan mo, just put a little positive spin on it and you should be good to go. Okay? Now, another red flag na possible are gaps in the timeline. So, personal din to sa akin kasi ako ay dropped out of UP after 3 sems. Tapos I went into seminary and then after that, doon ako nag-psychology major sa Messiah College. So, I knew kahit nung nasa school pa ako na itatanong sa akin yan, bakit ka umalis sa UP? Or yung iba naman, 'di ba, bakit hindi ka nag-work for 3 years? Now, yung mga mommies diyan, usually I get a lot of questions from moms na gano'n. Kasi coach nagkaanak kasi ako. So ako nag-alaga do'n sa anak ko. Ngayon na medyo malaki na siya, gusto ko na magtrabaho uli. Now, kapag gano'n yung sitwasyon, just again, be very honest with it. So I switched priorities. I had a child. I had to take care of my child, and now that she's able to take care of herself, at least in the working hours, I can now focus on my career. Just explain that, and that's okay, no? Now, ang question kasi pagdating sa gaps in your timeline, more than the fact na meron kayong gaps sa timeline ninyo, ang tatanong sa inyo, anong ginawa ninyo during those gaps? Kasi, and here's the truth, meron talagang mga huminto na magtrabaho tapos tumambay. No? As in, 2 years na, yun, sa bahay lang, chill-chill lang. Tapos nung naubos na yung savings or nawala na yung magpo-provide para sa kanila, ayan, nag-asawa na yung ate na OFW na nagpapadala ng pera. I mean, tapatan na tayo sa Pilipinas, nangyayari talaga yan. Doon na lang medyo parang okay, na-light yung fire sa kanila. Tapos parang okay, kailangan ko magtrabaho kasi may asawa na si ate. No? Doon lang nagtatrabaho. Now, again, when those gaps happen, what you have to do is to prove that during those times, productive ka pa rin. So kung nanay ka, 'di ba? Of course you're taking care of your kids. So you could say something like I spent a lot of time honing my teaching skills and growing my patience. No, you could say something like when I was before I became a mom, I was a stickler for rules. I was so strict. I was so legalistic. But when I became a mom, I understood the human side of things. You can say na I grew when it comes to teaching, when it comes to being patient, when it comes to understanding people's emotions and dealing with a diverse group of people. And I think that's something that's necessary for a person who's in the future going to lead a team. So at least nabali natin na okay, may mga napulot ako dahil ako yung nung nagpapalaki ako ng anak, ganito yung nangyari sa akin, mas okay na ako ngayon kaysa dati. So, may nangyari pa rin sa'yo, okay? May nangyari pa rin sa'yo kapag, habang nung nasa gap ka. Now, kung hindi naman nagpamilya, anong puwede mong gawin? You could say na, okay, nag-focus ka in taking care kasi totoo nangyayari, 'di ba, may nagkasakit sa pamilya. Nag-focus ka on taking care of your mom for the meantime. But you don't just say you took care of your mom. You could say that you learned a lot of things along the way. I was never the type of person who would put themselves out there. I used to hide behind my mom when it comes to dealing with the logistics part of things, with administration, with filling out forms, with taking care of the finances. But because my mom got sick, I had to step up and take the reins. I had to take care of her, take care of the medical bills, make sure that all the things are in order, and that helped me with the project planning side. Oh, di ba? Ganun. So, project manager ka na ngayon. Kasi, di ba, nakuha mo yung skills na yon habang nasa gap year ka. Pwede ka rin mag-enroll sa courses or sa classes, no? Habang nakabakante tayo. Now, I know some of you are watching this na medyo kaya na-lay off tayo last year, di ba? Or nawalan kayo ng trabaho last year. Ang question talaga niyan would be, anong ginawa mo habang naghihintay ka or naghahanap ka ng trabaho? And ang bibigay ko sa inyong tip would be, find kahit mga certificate courses, ang dami. Sa totoo lang, ang dami. You can go through Coursera. We have a partnership with Skillshare. So you can look for skills that you can monetize. You can start your own little business, no? Kahit na hindi maging sobrang profitable, basta may ginagawa ka habang naghihintay. Kasi yun ang tatanong sa'yo eh. Gaano ka ka-productive, sabihin na natin, habang nasa gap year ka. Now, again, hindi po ito, Tim, salamat sa gift. Darlene, Jonalyn, salamat. Hindi ito absolute ha, na parang okay, pag may gap yung resume ko, hindi na ako ma-hire. or na lahat ng hiring manager pag nakakita yon auto pass na. Hindi gano'n. Ang thing lang is you have to be ready with an answer. Okay? Next, we're going to talk about low grades. Now, ano to? As in, you just need to be ready. Ready na itanong sa inyo ito. I have a friend, no, who's like a brother to me. So, Kiko, kung nanonood ka man or mapapanood mo to, hi. And when we were younger, no, so ano pa ako, kumbaga college grad, pa-college grad pa lang kami, magkaka-batch kasi kami. One of his worries was, kasi sa engineering, and alam ng mga engineering major yan, no, bihira yung nag-engineering na hindi bumagsak kahit kailan. Tama ba? May mga engineer ba tayong nanonood? Okay. So, kasi sinasabi nila, 'di ba, iba-iba rin, per course naman kasi talaga 'yan, 'no? May mga courses or may mga degrees na, it's easy to skate by or sabihin natin at least you get a 3. Pero meron talagang mga higher math courses na talagang babagsak ka. And I've had so many friends who are also successful in their own fields right now na meron ding mga bagsak sa transcript nila, okay. Ako rin yung nung nasa UP ako meron akong mga drop, meron akong mga 5, meron akong hindi kasi ako pumasok 'no. 'Yan, sabi ni L.R. Ibanez III, correct, 75 lang sa engineering masaya ka na. Ayan, Rimuru, engineer here, true story, o 'yan, 'di ba? So yeah, it really happens. And one of my friends nung, nagpe-prepare siya for a job interview kasi my friends used to do that kahit before I became Coach Lyqa 'no, before I started posting online content. Kino-coach ko na yung mga ano ko, mga friends ko 'pag nag-job application sila. Sabi nung friend ko, "Ay paano 'yan kasi meron akong subject na ano, kumbaga ibig sabihin ni-repeat na subject." Sa loob-loob ko okey lang 'yan kasi engineering. Engineering major ka naman, 'di ba? Naintindihan ng mga tao 'yan. Pero just in case they don't understand or kahit na kunyari hindi naman engineering yung course mo pero nagkaroon ka ng bagsak, paano mo siya mailulusot? Okay. Now again, you have to be ready. Bago ka pa pumasok dun sa interview, alam mo na dapat yung sasabihin mo. Okay, anong pwede mong sabihin? You could say something like this: "I believe that everyone needs a little bit of a push every now and then, and that was the one for me." Or you could say something like, "Now that I've had a taste of failure, I know how it is to adapt. I know how it is to focus on my schedule more, to make sure that I prioritize the more important tasks. I learned a lot from that experience. So even if I have a failing grade right there, you can see the next SEM, I did my part and I passed that same course or that same subject." So kahit na meron kang, 'di ba, ding ibabawi natin 'yan, okay. So nandun talaga siya dun sa bawi, okay. And again, yung ating magic line, everything is a learning experience. From the good, you learn what to do. From the bad, you learn what not to do. And I learned a lot of things that I shouldn't do from that experience, and I hope to bring them with me in my new position as possibly your employee, no? So again, ganun lang. Babaliin lang natin para magkaroon ng positive twist siya. Now, another red flag would be little to no experience. And I'll be very honest with you right now, no? Kasi tayo-tayo lang naman. Tayo-tayo lang all ilang hundreds ba kayo across all platforms. But a lot of people complain to me, no? Tapos sabihin nila, paano po ako ma-hire? Kasi gusto nila ma-experience pero fresh grad ako. Gusto nila fresh grad pero may 5 years na experience. Yung mga ganun, di ba? Again, one of the things I would tell you would be, life is always now and now what? Ibig sabihin, now, ito yung sitwasyon ko, now what do I do about it? So, nasa sa inyo yan. Ang tanong here would be, anong klaseng mga experiences na pwede nyo i-adapt doon sa bago nyong role? For example, sa akin, when I started interviewing, getting interviewed for jobs after I graduated, I knew na again, kasi meron akong, nag-drop out ako sa UP eh. So, ano na yun, down na agad yun. Tapos, I graduated with a degree in psychology. Although magna cum laude ako, the college is not that big. So, hindi siya, natin, UST, FEU, hindi siya malaking college or university. Kadalasan tinatanong pa kami kung, ano tong Messiah College? Yan, no? Kasi hindi nga kilala. So I knew na gano'n yung mangyayari sa akin. So, what do we do? Kung kulang ka sa experience, hanap ka ng experience habang estudyante ka pa, 'di ba? Mag-part-time ka, mag-intern ka, gumawa ka rin again ng sarili mong business, do something else with your time para ma-prove mo yung sarili mo. Na kung hindi na umabot 'di ba? Hindi ka rin nag-student government, so wala kang volunteer experience. Paano kung gano'n? Hanap ka again ng ibang mga twist. Nag-tutor ka ba ng mga kids, 'no? Nag-alaga ka ba ng mga kapatid mo? Kasi kung ikaw ang ate, ta's ikaw yung 'di ba nag-online schooling last year, tapos dahil tambay ka sa bahay kasi kaka-graduate mo lang, ikaw yung nag-alaga sa mga kapatid mo, ikaw yung nag-tutor sa kanila, ikaw yung tumulong sa kanila sa modules nila or sa online schooling nila. A lot of people would think na normal lang yun, walang relasyon yan dun sa job application ko kasi hindi naman teacher yung i-applyan kong trabaho. But the truth is that could actually help you prove na you're someone who's quick to adapt, na you are willing to do what it takes, and you are a learner, no? Bakit? Kasi sa mga bagong positions, lalo na kapag starting positions lang 'yan, lalo na kapag medyo sabihin na natin yung industry may sarili nilang jargon, may sarili nilang sistema, gusto nila yung mabilis matuto, tsaka willing matuto. So you can prove na gano'n, na I have little experience but I'm willing to learn, but I'm a fast learner, 'no? And do'n na papasok yung, ay marami akong certificates, nag-enroll ako sa mga online courses, nag-tutor ako sa mga pamangkin ko, sa mga kapatid ko. Kaya 'yun, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly growing, okay? So again, nasa bali 'yan, puwede niyong baliin 'yun. Now, again, job interview tips number one, be prepared. Kapag prepared ka na kahit papaano do'n sa possible red flags mo, kasi hindi naman lahat meron ka, 'no, or hindi naman lahat related. But after that, again, this is the next step, be early. Okay? Now, some of you may say, paano po magiging early ngayon, virtual na yung interviews? Sa totoo lang, di ba nakikita rin eh. Kung kayo ay meeting sa Zoom, for example, or sa Google Meets or anything, usually, ang nangyayari, di ba, kasi magsa-sign in kayo dun sa link na pinadala sa inyo. If you sign in earlier than yung scheduled time, nasa parang kumbaga waiting room na kayo. Okay? Kasi ma-approve eh. I-approve kayo para makapasok kayo sa room, di ba? Ngayon, kung kung kayo ay hindi nag-login ng maaga, mangyayari maghihintay yung nag-hire sa inyo doon, ta's malalaman niya right when you're trying to enter the room. 'Di ba? Mag-a-ask ka kasi to enter the room, eh. So makikita niya, "Okay, nauna pa ako dito, 'Di ba? Instead na kumbaga nakikita niya na meron ng waiting dun sa room. So again, yes, pwede ka pa ring maging early kahit po online na lahat ngayon. And of course, kung physical yung interview, lalo na. One thing that I tell my friends din and everyone na nagpapa-advise sa akin sa job interview before the pandemic is, you actually have to, ano ba, you have to case the location. Pag sinabing case, ibig sabihin para kang, for lack of a better analogy, 'no? Alam niyo yung mga sabihin natin mga magnanakaw, yung mga conmen, 'no? Titingnan muna nila, okay, yung security nasaan. So, pinapanood nila yung lugar for a long time. Inaaral nila yung schedule, yun mo, sino ba yung mga taong lumalabas-pasok diyan. Kini-case nila yung location bago sila papasok. And when it comes to your job interview, medyo may ganun ding process. Ako, I try my best to do that. Ibig sabihin, siguro a week before my interview, I would go to the place. Same day usually. Kasi di ba iba Monday may Filipiniana or Friday maaga yung out. So yung mga ganun medyo mag-change yun eh. Kaya Tuesday. Punta ka ng Tuesday, titinan ko yung lugar. Okay, ano yung suot? Usually ng mga tao. Yun yung una eh. Kasi kung naka-business attire sila lahat, no? As in, everyone going in and out of that building, of that office, naka-full formal business attire. Aba, pag nag-interview ka, dapat naka-formal din ako, naka-business attire din ako. Kompleto ako. As in, all black, no? Na business attire. Now, kung casual lang, no? Nakikita mo, naka-pants lang tsaka collared shirt, okay? Hindi pa yung naka-button down, talagang polo lang yung mga pumapasok. Okay. Hindi ako kailangan mag-super formal. Siguro I would go for maybe smart casual na damit sa interview. So natututunan yon kung maaga ka. Na kung hindi mo kayang 1 week before, you can come a little early. Sa akin, sa totoo lang, kasi nga again, I have anxiety. What I try to do is sobrang early ko. As in, kung merong McDo or Jollibee or anywhere na malapit doon sa lugar na yon, doon na ako magla-lunch or doon na ako magbe-breakfast. Maaga talaga ako. Bakit? Kasi kailangan ko ng oras para kumalma. I'm not the type of person na yung kaya, 'di ba, kakababa ko lang sa bus tas hinihingal-hingal ka pa kasi tumawid ka sa overpass. Didiretso ka sa interview. Hindi ko kaya yon kasi alam ko mag-overload yung utak ko. So, anong kailangan kong gawin? I have to come earlier pa than most para magpakalma. So, kakape muna ako, kakain muna ako ng fries, no? Kasi nire-relax muna ako bago ako sasabak sa interview. Okay? That way din, hindi ka naliligaw. No? It's all about preparation nga. No? So again, be early. Now, another thing, be honest. Napag-usapan na natin to. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Okay, I'm sorry I can't recall. Sometimes may mga skills test din sa job interview. Ibig sabihin kung sinabi mo na marunong ka ng programming, marunong ka ng curriculum development, marunong ka ng graphic design, papadesign talaga sila sa'yo or papagawan ka nila. In one of my experiences, kahit paano, I did get the job offer naman, no? Pero may design aspect kasi creative director kasi yung position. So, may design aspect, sabi, gawa ka ng parang logo or graphic header for the company kasi gagawa sila ng bagong product. Tapos, binigyan nila ako ng company laptop. Walang Photoshop, no? Walang Photoshop yung laptop. So, I had to do things ng nasa Microsoft PowerPoint, no? So, nangyayari talaga yon. Okay? Part siya ng process. Now, of course, nung dumating yung boss to check yung ginawa ko, I explained na this is my best attempt using the tools that I have right now. But if I had Photoshop, I would probably do a much better job. I couldn't add shadows that much because Microsoft PowerPoint will only allow me to do a certain thing. So yon, just be honest about it. Pwede naman yon. Nailulusot naman yan. Okay? Next, you have to be polite. No? Meron kasi talaga and maraming mga kwento yung mga hiring managers niyan. Yung mga sobrang presko, no? Sobrang hindi na confident, overconfident na parang binabarkada na agad yung hiring manager. Now, this is a hard truth and I'll share it with you. There are people who can get away with it. Okay? For some reason, meron talagang mga tao na nung nagpaulan ng Diyos ng charisma, talagang naligo sila ng todo sa ulan, no? Yung mga people na parang pagpasok sa room, no, kahit na medyo, ibig sabihin medyo ang dating maangas or mayabang, people tend to gravitate towards them or naiintindihan sila or pa nag-joke sila nakakatawa. Pero hindi lahat ganun. And it takes a level of self-awareness to know kung ganun ka o hindi. For example, sa akin, I know na I shouldn't make jokes right away. Kasi the kind of jokes I make sometimes can be a little off-putting. Ang humor ko kasi kadalasan mas malibak, no? Ibig sabihin, I like making uh, parang snide remarks or shady remarks about people. Uh, Lalo na dati. So, dahil ganun yung klase yung mga jokes ko, na bumibenta, sabi ko, okay, this isn't working. So I shouldn't make jokes like that kapag professional yung setting. But again, there are people who would say the exact joke tapos tatawa yung mga tao sa kanila. Okay? So kung medyo iffy ka, parang naku, delikado to. Lalo na humor. Ang humor talaga is depende talaga yun kasi depende sa tao yan. Just try not to be too jokey, di ba? Sa mga tao. Just be polite. Okay? Now, dito ko rin isisingit. May mga tao nagtatanong sa akin, do I call them sir or ma'am, miss or mister, or first name? Again, dito na papasok yung research. So, ito yung totoo habang nasa waiting room kayo, habang di ba kasi nakapila naman usually yung applicants, iisa-isahin kayo. Or tingnan nyo kunyari panel interview yan, how they interact with each other habang nag-usap sila. Kung paano sila nag-uusap, pakinggan nyo anong tawagan nila. Kasi, and hindi ito absolute ha, rule of thumb, based sa experience ko, in a lot of government agencies, whether superior nila yung tao or ka-level nila or sila yung boss, they usually call each other ma'am pa rin. So kunyari, Ma'am Lyqa, tas first name. It's a very Filipino way of going about things ha, by the way. Sa ibang bansa kasi kapag sinabing Miss Lyqa, yung iba na-offend. Kasi yung Miss means, ay, naku, old maid or something like that. So, in a lot of American companies, multinational companies, they go with the first name. So, like, kung ano man, kahit boss nyo ako, kahit ako yung CEO, first name ang tawag. Or Miss and then last name. So, Miss Maravilla. Kaya lang dun ka papasok no hindi ka masyadong sure Miss ba siya o Mrs. Kapag unsure kayo, you go with Miss and then last name. So, may mga ganong klaseng mga dilemma yan. Pero ma-eliminate nyo yun kung nakikinig kayo habang nag-uusap sila. No? So, kapag nag-uusap-usap sila, tingnan nyo, pakinggan ninyo. Okay? And in fact, in other companies pa nga, and totoo to ha, nangyayari to, even if babae, yung boss, they have them call them sir. Okay? Lalo na sa police forces or sa military. So, sir pa rin. Kaya, chief of police or chief of that station, kahit babae ang tawag sa kanya, sir. Kahit na, hindi ma'am. Okay? So, tingnan nyo lang, pakinggan nyo yan, tapos gagayahin nyo. Okay? Now, Faxi asks, ano po ba ang appropriate ma'am or miss? Again, no, kapag international company, try not to call them miss. Iba yung connotation sa atin. So, just, siguro, mas maganda na yung, again, kung hindi nyo alam yung first name, pwede naman ding ma'am. Again, pakinggan, depende na lang. Yun na lang, pakinggan nyo na lang. Ayan. Email says, and email is from California, right? Usually it's Miss or Mr. then last name. Okay, yun. So, that's a safe bet then. But again, don't call them and then Miss and then first name. It's a different connotation. Okay? So, yun. You can go with that. Wag lang ma'am sir, no? Okay, so be polite. Another thing, listen. This is very important, no? Yung iba naman sobrang excited. And Hamilton, by the way, from Kumu has a great tip. Ask the receptionist kung paano sila i-address. Yes, pwede yon. You can ask people. Great tip, Hamilton. Yeah. Hindi ko lang yan ang yung mga hindi ko naiisip kasi takot ako magtanong. Kaya maganda na binring up mo yan. Kasi yeah, you can ask. No? How do they prefer na i-address sila? Next, listen. This is also very important. Yung iba kasi sobrang excited sumagot. Di ba? Kasi nag-prepare na. Nag-prepared ako eh. Yung tell me something about yourself. Itanong nyo sa akin na ready ako. Why should I hire you ready ako? No? Pero ang nangyayari minsan, hindi pala yun yung tanong. No? Mali yung rinig natin kasi hindi tayo nakinig. For example, yung why should I hire you? Tsaka why should I not hire you? Or why shouldn't I hire you? Sa simpleng, kung magbabilis magsalita tayo nag-interview sa inyo, magkatunog yun. So kung hindi ka nakikinig, baka ang sinasagot mo why should I hire you? Pero ang tinanong pala sa'yo ay why shouldn't I hire you? Or bakit hindi ikaw ang pipiliin ko? So magkaiba kapag sinagot mo yun, di ba? Wala na, alam na hindi ka nakinig. So again, listen. Be in the moment. Now, one of the things na you have to understand is if you're prepared, you already have it in you. Ang focus mo na is to try to relax para ma-retrieve mo yung information na yon. Now, yung mga dancers dyan sa chat, sila siguro yung makaka-affirm nito, no? Marami akong mga friends din who are dancers. I used to dance a little bit here and there when I was younger kasi kailangan. But when you dance, alam natin yan, di ba? Kaya di ba nagre-rehearse ka? Ilang araw ka nagpa-practice, same steps, no? Sa umpisa, iniisip mo pa, okay, ito yung combination na next after this, after nito, ito yung gagawin ko, itataas ko yung kamay ko. Sa unang mga beses na nagsasayaw ka, or pinapractice mo yung sayaw na yon, iniisip mo pa. Kasi iniisip mo, ito yung kasunod na combination, next na 8 ito. No? So, talagang nandito ka pa sa utak mo. The more you practice, nagiging second nature na siya sa'yo. Ibig sabihin, alam mo na yung gagawin. Okay, yung katawan mo nandun na. To the point na, and again, anyone who performs, whether declamation yan, singing yan, o dancing yan, chat nyo na lang sa chat box. Naranasan nyo na yung ganito, di ba? Yung pag-play ng tugtog sa stage, hindi mo na natatandaan kung ano yung ginawa mo. Basta sumayaw ka lang, or basta tumugtog ka lang, basta kumanta ka lang, basta nag-speak ka lang, tuloy-tuloy. Hindi mo na iniisip kung ano yung sasabihin mo next. Hindi mo na iniisip kung ano yung gagalaw mo next. Automatic na siya. Bakit? Kasi nakapag-practice ka ng matagal eh. So, ang nangyayari na lang would be, nasa moment ka mismo. So, you're just doing. Natural na yung flow of things. That is the goal. Kaya, that is why we prepare. Para pag nandun na tayo sa moment na yun, ang focus mo na would be to listen. Hindi mo nire-recite sa utak mo yung sasabihin mo kapag tinanong ako ng ganito, ito yung sasabihin ko. Tinanong ako ng ganito, ito yung sasabihin ko. Kasi naaral mo na before eh. Okay? So, again, you have to listen. Okay? Listen. Mappy, paano pasagutan yung Why shouldn't I hire you pero ma-hire ka pa rin? We have a full episode on the Get Hired podcast. Go and check that out. Okay? So, yun. Na-discuss natin yan doon. Yan, muscle memory, sabi ni Blessing. Amanda Villegas says yes. Yes, di ba? Yung pag tumugtog, di ba? Yung mga 90s kids dyan, pag tumugtog yung Aserehe, tsaka yung Dr. Jones, di ba? 88, Sex Bomb, hit yung classics ng Sex Bomb. Automatic, di ba? Bila na lang gagalaw yung katawan mo. Kahit na hindi natin iniisip, sumasayaw na lang tayo eh. Ganun talaga siya. Next, think before you speak. You can pause. Okay? Ako, ano ba, nangyayari sa akin minsan, sobrang, again, eager ako. Alam niyo yung pag may karera ng kabayo, di ba may kabayo na bumabangga na dun sa gate? Medyo may pagkaganon ako. Yan yung isa sa mga struggle ko. Kasi kapag anxious ka, or pag kinakabahan ka minsan, dun sumusobra, no? But you have to do this. And ako, I tried my best din pa rin to think before I speak. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pwede bumuelo. So, nagtanong sa'yo, di ba? Kaya sabi, rate yourself from 1 to 10. Buelo ka muna. Hindi mo kailangan, di ba, hindi pa natatapos halos yung sentence, sumasagot ka na. Okay? Buelo ka muna. Relax. Kasi if tinanong ka, rate yourself from 1 to 10, ang ibang tao dyan sasabihin, it's an 8. Pero sa totoo lang, medyo trick question yung rate yourself from 1 to 10. And nasabi ko to dun sa episode where we discussed this sa Get Hired podcast. Kasi pag sinabi rate yourself from 1 to 10, ang question mo would be this: is 10 the highest number? Okay? If you do really well, do you get a 10? Kasi pag sinabi rate yourself from 1 to 10, hindi mo alam kung 1 ang lowest, 10 ang highest, 10 ang highest, 1 ang lowest. Ranking ba to o hindi? And you can clarify those things. Now, hindi mo yan magagawa kung excited ka sumagot. Okay? So again, you have to do these things to make it more interactive. Kasi kung hindi, robotic yung dating. Di ba? Nagtanong siya, sumagot ka kasi memorize mo yung sagot mo eh. Nagtanong siya, sumagot ka, ganun na lang. Ayaw natin ng ganun. Gusto natin maging mas conversational siya as possible. Okay? So yan, think before you speak. Now, another thing, avoid using fillers. Now, medyo ano to ha, medyo mamaya maging controversial to. Lagi ko sinasabi, avoid using fillers, yung mga ganon. And here's the thing, kung casual conversation, that's perfectly fine. Kahit sa public speaking, that's perfectly fine. Napag-usapan din namin yan ni Sir Marvin dun sa episode ng paano gumaling sa public speaking sa YouTube channel natin. Fillers are fine. Okay? Lalo na kung nag-aaral ka ng language, lalo na kung may emotions ka involved. However, okay, ito na yung limitations. However, pagdating sa mga roles na kunyari, papasok ka sa call center, di ba? Customer service. Kung 80% ng sinabi mo sa interview ay ganon, there is a possibility na madiding ka. So what I'm going to tell you is this, again ha, depende sa purpose. Casual conversation, perfectly fine. You're still learning the language, it's perfectly fine. Pero if you're applying for a job, not required, okay? Not required for you to speak English ng tuloy-tuloy. You're going to be a teacher, a customer service representative. You're going to be speaking to a lot of natives. You have to, okay? Kahit paano, try to avoid using fillers. So how do you do that? I actually have a video on TikTok talking about this. What you could do would be, and here are a number of techniques. What I do sometimes is I do this, or I pinch myself. I do this, no? Hindi lang all the time, kasi mamaya ganyan ka naman ng ganyan, doon sasabihin, ba't ka nag-close open? So you just ground yourself. It's a grounding technique, no? Yung ground mo yung sarili mo, okay, I'm fine, you're good. Kasi kaya na naman tayo usually kasi ninervous tayo. Another thing, be comfortable with pauses. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi mo alam yung sasabihin mo, don't just say, you just don't say anything. Bite your lip or, diba, bite your jaw, clench your jaw, ganyan lang. Diba? Para mag-isip ka muna. Just don't say ng mahaba. Okay? So, yun. Some of the things that you can practice para makalusot tayo. Kasi iba, minamark talaga yun, binibilang eh. Nakailang na to. Parang puro no? So, yun. Just something to think about. Okay? And last, end on a positive note. This is very important. When it comes to constructing your answer, find a way. Okay? Now, a few weeks back, I posted yung video ko on, ano ba yun? Parang skit siya on my, parang application sa interpreter sa Miss Universe, yung positive scripting, no? But that is kind of what you need to do. Dun sa padulo na nung sagot mo, lagi mong babaliin. You have to end on a positive note. So what you have to understand is that meron tayong tinatawag na primacy at recency effect, no, sa mga tao. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang natatandaan natin usually, yung unang sinasabi at huling sinasabi ng tao. So kung nagsalita ako, for example, sa inyo, isang oras, ang matatandaan ninyo if you stayed would be the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes. Yung nasa gitna, jumble-jumble na yan, minsan mawawala yung attention ninyo, tapos babalik na lang uli. So, hit or miss na yon. Pero yung simula at saka dulo, very important. So, ibig sabihin, kapag dulo ng sasabihin natin, you have to end on a positive note. You have to establish na ibig sabihin may something pa rin na positive about what you're saying. And yes, even the worst parts, you can end on a positive note. It's all about that eh. Always think about that. This is you have to have kahit paano a thought pattern, which is why I keep telling you a lot of things na paulit-ulit. Now what? Right? So now, ito yung aking sitwasyon. I'm a college dropout. I'm a single mother. And a lot of people come to me asking for help na gano'n. Paano po yung single mother ako, college dropout ako, wala akong masyado experience. Okay, this is my now. Now what? And because I'm a single mother, okay, who's a college dropout, I know I have limited opportunities. That is why I understand the value of this particular opportunity. If you give me a shot, if your company gives me that opportunity, I'll make sure that I do everything I can to be worthy of it. I've had so many companies say no to me before. All I need is that one yes, and I promise to make the most out of it. I want this the most. So again, kahit na meron kang now, negative, now what? Okay? Laging may but. It's like this, but because of that, it's this. Okay? So always end on a positive note. Okay? So, yun yung job interview tips natin really quickly. Ito yung mga common job interview questions. We're going to do a run through. Why should I hire you? Okay, laging tatanong. Tell me something about yourself. Ito usually yung first question. Ito rin ang first episode sa Trying Hard sa ating Get Hard podcast. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Why did you leave your last job? Okay? And what is your biggest achievement? What is your biggest regret? Usually tatanong din kayo, how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with negative people or challenging people? How do you lead people? All of those things, again, we already discussed on the Get Hired podcast. So, kung gusto nyo nung individual na sagot sa mga tanong na yon, okay, paano ko sasagutin yung what are the 3 reasons that will make you stay in the company? We also have those episodes already. So, you can find this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. Hanapin nyo lang Get Hired. You should find it naman easily. Or hanapin nyo yung link na yan sa Get Hired Podcast. And of course, sa YouTube, we have this. We have the Get Hired playlist din on YouTube. So we talked about what to wear. Ayan, yung mga hindi na natin na-discuss ngayon. Finding job leads din. If you want to watch yung how to write a resume. Yan. We also talked about yung salary negotiation. So what is your expected salary? Kasi tinatanong din yan, isa sa pinaka-challenging na questions yan. Napag-usapan din natin on the Get Hard playlist sa YouTube. Okay? So yan. Okay? Pag medyo nabitin kayo dito, you can go and find those. What I try to do dun sa Get Hard podcast is, kung meron kayong sinend na tanong sa akin na encounter ninyo, what are your deal breakers? Yan, mga pinapadala din ng mga Team Lyqa members. What I talk about is how can you answer this question ng positive pa rin. Okay? Or ano yung mga possible nyong sabihin. Ang hindi ko lang kayang sagutin for you, as in na verbatim, na kaya ito yung may memorize na yung sagutin. I don't do that kasi. Would be questions about yourself. So, some of the questions na bibigyan ko kayo ng guide kung paano sagutin, pero hindi ko sasagutin for you, would be, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Kasi yung tanong na yan, kahit padala nyo sa akin, hindi ko yan masasagot. Bakit? Hindi ko kayo kilala. Depende yan sa inyo. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Hindi ko rin alam. Depende yan sa inyo. These questions are designed, sa totoo lang, to find out more about you. Kayo mismo. So, tinutulungan ko kayo na maghanap ng tamang sagot. Pero those answers, again, have to be accurate pagdating sa inyo. Kasi mamaya, sabihin niyo kasi kunyari, sa akin, one of my biggest strengths and weaknesses then is that I focus on work too much. I tend not to take care of myself when I'm focused on working. So I do encounter health issues here and there kasi I overwork eh. Yun ang problema ko. Pero kung hindi naman kayo katulad ko na nag-overwork kayo to the point na you get sick sa exhaustion, you can't say na gano'n kasi hindi totoo sa inyo yun eh. So, kailangan nyo maghanap ng ibang sagot for yourself. But the Get Hired podcast will be there to guide you dun sa kung ano yung mga pwede nyo sagutin. So far naman, we've had a lot of people say that the podcast has helped them. The questions na nandun commonly appear in job interviews. So, if you want more, you can find these online. Okay? Now, balikan natin yung ating goal. Okay, the goal is to make the other person feel good. A good interview makes the interviewer feel good. Okay? It's not about you. Marami kasing mga people, and you have to find a balance here. Eh. Maraming people ang feeling nila, in order for the interview to be good, dapat nagsasalita sila 80% of the time. It's really not like that. Dapat may rapport. You have to build a certain exchange dun sa kausap ninyo, lalo na kung immediate supervisor niyo siya. So you have to make them feel good about themselves. That is the goal. Now, the question here would be, how do I do that? Diba? Kung medyo self-centered ako, you have to learn. Okay? Again, one of the things I'm grateful for being raised a certain way or being who I am is I know how it is to sit in a room and not talk. Okay? Um Talagang I've grown to like actually I've grown to like observing people, watching people, listening to people. Pero ang tendency kasi kung ikaw lagi yung number one, 'di ba? Kung saan ka man pumunta, ikaw lagi yung top dog, alpha ka, ikaw yung pinakamaingay, pinakabibo, pinakabida. Pag pumapasok tayo sa mga certain situations like this, sa job interview, hindi ka sanay na makinig, hindi ka sanay na makiramdam. Hindi ka sanay na mamili ng sasabihin mo a certain way. So you have to find that balance eh. Okay? Don't make it all about you. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about the company. Okay? People hire people who will work well with them for the company. So hindi ikaw ang bida. It is about you, but it's not for you. Okay, does that make sense? The job interview is about you, but it's not for you. Hindi para sa'yo, para dun sa company. So you have to be willing to be part of a bigger goal. Yeah, throughout the entire hiring process, and again, I've had different opportunities to do this. But with Team Lyqa particularly, no, kasi we did have a number of openings or meron ng mga people who have become part of the team. Ang masasabi ko would be, yun ang pinaka-hinahanap talaga namin. Hinahanap ko, ako personally. If they're sold sa vision ng Team Lyqa, ibig sabihin, kasi I can't offer a lot naman when it comes to salary. Hindi ko pwedeng i-match yung mga multinational companies. But if I sense na, okay, they're sold sa vision, they want to do more than just earn a paycheck, gusto nila makatulong. Kasi diba, that's what we do here. We try to provide educational content to as much people as necessary. At kapag sold sila sa vision na yon, okay, I like this person. Kasi, alam niya what it takes. Now, we work extra hard kasi we're doing this for the people, for the Filipinos. And that is how I hire. So, I understand na that is how people also hire outside. Naghahanap sila nung, hindi to titingnan na parang, okay, ano lang to, para lang kumita ng pera or kahit ano na lang, no? And yeah, it's a common thread among a lot of people. So kung hindi ka interesado masyado dun sa company, parang, bakit ka nag-apply? Kasi po wala akong trabaho eh. Nakita ko may opening kayo. Kung ganun ka, alam mo yun, ka nonchalant or ganun ka throw away yung pagkakasabi natin, you probably won't be chosen. So unless meron talagang malalang mga circumstances, probably someone else will be picked over you. So always think about that. Okay? Again, your goal is to try to make the other person feel good. Ask about them. Okay? Now, another thing I'll leave you with would be go and check out yung episode on what to say kapag tinanong ka ng do you have any questions. That is, I think, isa sa mga pinaka nakakatakot na tanong for a lot of people. Kasi pag tinanong ka, do you have any questions? Awkward usually sasabihin, no, I'm good. Pero, okay, if you answer yung do you have any questions really well, that could make you stand out. Kasi nga, ang daming taong sasabihin wala silang questions. Pero kung magtatanong ka ng magandang tanong dun sa segment na yun or dun sa part na yun ng interview, you will blow them away. Okay? So, just listen to that episode and plan your way to the top. No? Ganun talaga yon. So, makinig kayo. Just practice your polite smile. Yeah, and pinapractice din yan. One of the things na I learned earlier in life is that I have RBF, no? So, kapag hindi ako, let me show you, okay? Kapag, ito yung normal kong muka. Lalo na pag kinakabahan, okay? So, may mga friends ako nagsasabi, galit ka ba? Hindi, kinakabahan ako. Pero pag kinakabahan ako, ganito itsura ko. Yan. Hindi ko na i-zoom in, no? Kumusta? Mukha bang itsura? Naman ako, medyo I got it from my mama, no? Ganyan din na nanay ko. So, dahil alam ko na ganun, medyo nakakatakot, 'di ba? Isipin niyo may aplikante ka tapos pagpasok mo sa kwarto ganito itsura. 'Di ba? Hindi ka masyadong matutuwa. So, dahil alam ko na ganun ako or ganun yung itsura ko kapag hindi ako if I don't pay attention to it, I have to practice looking pleasant, sabihin na natin. So I learned how to at least smile. You know, one of the things na you could do would be that. Now, sisingit ko lang really quickly. We have a few minutes pa here. Here are some of the, kasi madedemo ko sa inyo kahit papaano. Some of yung body language that you can work on. Okay? Before for your next interview. Again, you have to know how to smile. Hindi naman kailangan ng ngiti-ngiti, no? Kasi pag gano'n naman nakaganon ka the entire time, sabihin may mali na dito, no? So, you can just smile. Use your eyebrows, guys. Okay? Dinrawing nyo na rin lang naman, ipakita nyo na. So, you can, kung nakikinig kayo, and again, very important yun, you have to look like you're listening. You lean in, you raise your eyebrows like this. You nod. Mm. 'Di ba? Kahit ano yung sinasabi ninyo, mukha akong interesado, 'di ba? Or at least, again, just be interested. Kasi pag interesado ka, mukha ka naman talaga interested. Pero be mindful about that, no? So again, this looks like, okay, nakikinig siya. Okay. If nagsasabi yung nag interview sa'yo kunyari, nagtanong ka, ano po yung skills na I need to work on? Can I get my pen? Can I write this down? No? Kasi kung notes ka pa, mukha ka talagang eager, di ba? So, mabebenta natin yon. Okay? Now, another thing, sit upright. Okay? Now, tingnan nyo ha, kahit nasa screen lang, kasi kung online interview, kung ganito ako sumagot, I think you should hire me because I'm the best person for this job. I will do my best. Versus this, I think I'm the best candidate for this job because I put in so much work learning this skill. These are different. Tama ba? So, yun at yun pa lang, sobrang malaking bagay na. Okay? Now, another thing people tell me is, nagpe-prepare daw sila ng sagot nila tapos tunog robot kasi minemorize nila yung script nila. Now, again, hindi nyo kailangan i-memorize yung script ninyo sa mga common questions na ito. If kailangan, dahil hindi talaga kaya na hindi, i-memorize na rin kung saan kayo magkakaroon ng tono. Okay? So, practice. Just, if you could, di ba, listen to yourself. This is the cringiest part of my life as a content creator. I hate, and alam ni Zandy yan, I hate listening to my own voice, no? But, if you want to practice, okay, you can answer, i-record nyo yung sarili ninyo, pakinggan nyo lang yung sarili ninyo para mapansin nyo kung saan ako pwedeng magtaas ng boses. Saan ako pwedeng huminga. Okay? Masyado ba akong robotic? Pakinggan nyo yung sarili ninyo. Okay? And when you go through that, you will learn things about yourself. Ano yung usual na inflections ko na pwede kong ayusin. Okay? Tapos, keep practicing. Yan. Okay? Smile, hand gesture daw, sabi ni Jen Valentin. Yes, and it's very important. Kasi kung para kang, di ba yung babarilin sa luneta all the time, medyo, ramdam mo yung nervyos eh. Yan. Ako, I like talking with my hands. So, Kasi kahit online, nakikita nyo pa rin, di ba? So, one thing, di ba, pwede ka mag-gesture, pinapractice din po yan. Okay? So, yan muna for now. Yan, sabi ni Papa Ronnie, good body posture. Yes, very important. Dapat mukha kayong confident. Kahit hindi ka confident, kung mukha kang confident, makakalusot din. Okay? So, I hope you learned a thing or two from our discussion today. Mag-wind down na tayo kasi hanggang 12 lang tayo. Again, we're here every Tuesday naman, 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon for the Knowledge Channel block. Mondays, you have Dr. E, Dr. Peter Esperanza, for math lessons with number bender. Tuesdays ako, Wednesday, Kuya Kim Atienza and Robbie Domingo for Math Dali naman and Knowledge on the Go. And Thursdays, you have FQ Mom and Kids for financial tips. Fridays, you have Teacher Precious naman for art tips or art sessions. So kung gusto niyo manood, yan, balik-balikan nyo na lang. Yan, kumikidlat na. 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon here on the Knowledge Channel block sa Scene Zone. And salamat sa pagsama, sa lahat sa nagpadalang gifts. Maraming salamat. Ayan, Mappy learned a lot. Thank you, Mappy, and thank you sa pagsama sa amin ngayong umaga na ito. We'll talk to you soon. And again, more videos are on YouTube. Podcasts are there. Thank you for making us number 14. Kahit na ang daming magagandang podcast. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Tuloy natin conversation after this, and we'll talk to you soon. As we always say, ayan. Never stop learning. Aja. See you next time. Bye for now.
For the past 3 years, this has been my life. You, this team, has been my life. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the memories, the laughter, the tears, the sleepless nights, and the long days. All the things I had to do. And all the things you did with me. Thank you for your love, your support, your faith. Your prayers give me strength. Your stories give me hope. Your perseverance gives me courage. It started as one sloppy video made by a nobody, turned into a beautiful community, an odd family that loves learning. And now 3 years in, I can say, like Esther from the Bible, I have been called for such a time as this, for you, all of you.
Hi everyone! Meet Team Lyqa Naga. Team Lyqa Tacloban.
Team Lyqa Manila, girls only. Boys.
Meet Team Lyqa Iloilo. Pampanga. Ilocos. Metro Manila, Batch 1. Batch 2. Iloilo. Antique. PNPA. Aklan. Baguio, nanginginig pa. PSWD and C1. Kaya Team Lyqa Dumaguete. Camindabao. Team Lyqa Metro Manila Batch 8. Team Lyqa UCC.
And when that time ends, I'll still say that all of this is by Him, through Him, and for Him who made all of this happen.